So good morning, everyone. Okay, today what we're going to do is I'm just going to give you a demo of what the next assignment will be, which will be to take the character that you've created and use the animation table to actually animate an action. So the way it's going to work is, and the way I did it, and hopefully you'll do it too, is I took a video recording of myself doing something for about 15-16 seconds. In this case, I was walking, picked up some toilet paper, and was very happy. So I tried to do something very physical. If you want to see the video, I'll go ahead and show it to you right now. Okay, so as you can see, the video is completely silly, but you've got a lot of dramatic body action, which is what you want. There's not a lot of crazy fast movement, which is also what you want, because remember, 12 frames per second, we're not going to be able to see a lot of movement. So what I did then is I took that video and brought it into Premiere, which I'm going to show you how to do right now. Okay, so good morning. What we're going to do now is just turn the video that we've transferred from the iPhone into a 12 frame per second video that will go that we'll use for animating. So what I'm going to do is just start a new project here. I'm going to call it Walk 2, just because I have one already, and I'm going to put it on my desktop. I can browse where that one you want that to be. Just remember where it is going to be, and I'm going to hit OK. I'm on my editing tab, as you can see at the top, and I'm going to go to my bottom left bin and double click to import the footage. It is located in my downloads, and just to see it, here is my 12 frame per second, or this is my original video. It is shot, as you can kind of see here, at 29 frames per second. Now the way I do it is, just for this one, I'm just going to drag it into the timeline here, and I see it's working. I can kind of see, I'll scrub through, you can kind of see it's working okay. I've selected this area, and I'm now going to go to File, Export, Media. You've done this before. And then this is the important part over here where we select the settings. This will actually allow us to create the 12 frame per second video with this footage. H.264 is correct. I'm going to match the source, but way down here where it says match source under the video tab, I'm going to uncheck this frame rate here. That'll allow me to save it as a different type of frame rate. So for instance, I'm going to select 12. That's the big thing here. So make sure you change it to 12. You don't need the audio, but if you want, everything else should be just fine. And again, if you don't have H.264 and then match source high bitrate selected, make sure you do that. Don't want QuickTime, right? And again, uncheck this, and 12 frames per second. We're going to go ahead and export it. I'm going to name it so that I know what it's called. I'm going to call this Walk 12. And I'm going to hit the export button. When this is done exporting, I'm going to import it or use it as, I'm going to go ahead and quit this and save. And you can, here is the Walk 12, and it is 12 frames per second. As you can see right here, 12 frames per second. And that means that if I move the frame by frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is actually going at 12 frames per second. You can see it's ready here on my laptop. So there it is. What I next did is set up a little stage. I created a backdrop, a piece of paper with some paint on it to make the grid look a little bit more like a floor, and set everything up. I created this little prop, which was like the toilet paper. And the shelves made out of cardboard. I want everything to look completely grungy. You don't need to make any props if you don't want to. Even something as simple as a little aluminum ball covered in a little tiny thin bit of clay could make a great prop. So you can use props to kind of use the clay to cover like aluminum foil or something else, so that you wind up with something that looks that's very light. You can kind of see, here's the ball now with aluminum. That looks light, those kinds of things. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this video up with my software like QuickTime, and I'm going to use my arrow keys to go frame by frame. And each time I see something move, I'm going to try to duplicate that with my puppet. It's not going to be perfect, but at least I have a reference for the timing in which I want this action to occur. So again, try to use the video as a reference for how long it takes to do something, but look at your character and make sure your character makes sense. Don't forget little things, right, on the character while you're animating. I taped everything down. As you can kind of see, I've used duct tape and have my timer here, but please tape everything down you want to guarantee success. So I taped down my rig, I've got my floor taped down. I'm going to go ahead and tape down this backdrop so it doesn't move too much. Lots of taping, more tape, more success, right? Again, duct tape is your friend. If you have duct tape, that's fantastic. I put this little timer here just so you can see what time it is. It's 10:30 in the morning on Thursday. This is nice and stable. This is stable. Everything is stable. I've got my magnets. So I've got my magnets. They're ready to go. I've framed in my camera. I'm going to actually show you a pan shot of like the whole system here. I've got the light from upstairs in my bedroom. So this way I have like a nice dramatic light source. I'm going to be turning off all the other light sources to try to control the light. Again, this is more about the action than it is about the set. So if you won't have a set, that's okay. You might see your hands, that's okay. Remember some of the videos you saw where you could actually see the person animating the character. That's kind of what we're trying to do. Can you create a character that actually moves on its own using this setup? Now, I've given you a remote clicker, and you have a phone and a tripod. I have this tripod, and for my remote clicker, I'm going to be using my watch. And I'm going to be seeing what I'm doing and using, again, the computer to kind of get my timing down. So, and here we go. Okay, so that's done. What did I learn? Well, it's my little toilet paper here. Some things I learned while doing this, I'm going to share with you, is that first off, I had put some heavy kind of clay on the puppet, the upper part of the puppet. You can kind of see right here. That made the puppet very top heavy. I didn't put that much clay, I was very light on it, but honestly, it made the puppet want to fall over quite a bit. Because I had created this piece of paper, you can kind of see here, in order to make the floor, it actually stopped the magnet from working as fully as it should, because there's a sheet of paper in between. And so the puppet itself, although it could stand without any problems, as you saw, when I went to do something like that, it would want to fall over. And so that is because it is top heavy. So my suggestion is don't use the non-dry clay on your puppet. If you want to have your puppet look interesting, use cloth fabric, or just paint it, or just leave it for this assignment. Let's see, what else did I have some problems with? I mean, that was the main problem, because Again, when I went to do the walking thing, I would have the walk, but then because of and you can kind of see it'll want to stay here. You can see it wants to fall over, and that's just because of all the weight on top. The computer seemed to work really well. I wasn't sure sometimes where things were going, so I would suggest advancing 5 or 6 frames to see where you're going to be in those 5-6 frames, just so you know where to go. Because when I did this, I thought I was done, but then I was going to do it again. So hopefully it didn't look too weird. The props helped a lot because it allowed me to focus on the props. Some things that I did as well was, first off, I took more than I needed because my camera got a lot of pixels, and I know that I'm only going to need 2,000 pixels across, 1980 by 1080, 1920 by 1080 will be the pixel aspect ratio for the Premiere video. But I just went ahead and took a little bit more than I need because I know that I could zoom in to get that frame without a problem. Let's see, what else did I notice? I think I moved the camera once accidentally just because I touched it. Everything was really stable, so the idea of having tape really saved the day because it really made everything else. I only had to worry about the puppet moving and how it moved and how it looked in front of the camera. Some things that I noticed is that although I had made my video there, I was looking at it from a different angle, so it was always good to take a look at it from the camera itself. Let's see, you can kind of see, look at all this clay here. This is just, don't use clay. Don't use if you're gonna sculpt something, sculpt it with the air dry clay and let it dry. Because this just was too much weight. See, anything else that I noticed? No, that was it. Hope you liked the video. Okay, thanks guys.